welcome, chat. I did not get a clip. This is...
By the way, do you see this what's happening right now? This might blow your absolute mind. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, this is insane. This is actually, oh wait, and that, well...
It kind of worked well.
Yup. Stuff like this is what makes me wanna see the finals competitive scene the most. Just so much potential for both silly plays and crazy highlights.
See the dome shield going off, the RPG, great shot from Noli. Chasing it down, gets Z down with a great shot off the shotgun. Grabbing him with the elbow. Can he get out of here? He does get Chicky down. Great shots from Noli, but he is the last person alive.
Oh!
Just
What a way!
What a...
Anyway, the finals esports. We've all been asking for it ever since the start. No other game that's come out in recent years has this much potential, and the devs recognize that. So where is it then? When will we be able to go see the finals major on the big stage? Because you bet I'ma be there, whether as a player or as a spectator. Let's go! The finals! Please subscribe so I can afford it. Thanks. But anyway, these are the sort of things we're gonna be discussing today. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe as I really appreciate it. And stick around, because at the end I'm gonna present an original idea that can really elevate competitive interest in the finals and potentially win you some money as well. Let's begin. The first thing I think we need to look at is whether the finals is even truly fit to be an esport, because it would not be the first new game trying to branch out in a scene that's already hella saturated. Like every second shooter game nowadays is trying to be an esport. Can the finals even be considered competitive when compared to already established highly competitive shooters like CS and R6? Because a lot of people would probably make the argument that the finals is at its core a casual game, is designed with fun in mind, and a lot of its mechanics reflect that. For example, the finals allows 3 of the same build in a team. There is nothing stopping you from running 3 lights on the same team, or should I say 3 mediums with healing beams, just so you can be a frustrating piece of shit to fight against and ruin my ranked games. I hate you. But yeah, if the finals was truly a competitive shooter, stuff like that would not be possible. The defibrillator probably wouldn't exist, there will be no sonar grenades and scan abilities, and melee weapons will probably also not be a thing. And the game definitely wouldn't be as fun now, would it? That being said though, for me at least, the concept of the game itself being a game show, competitive game show at that, where contestants virtually fight for fame and glory, is what already makes it hella fitting to be competitive. Even something small, like the in-game casters, Scotty and June, helps bring that atmosphere so much closer, and it sometimes makes me imagine as if I'm actually there on an esports stage destroying everyone. It's truly a feeling I dream to experience one day, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same. I mentioned in the intro how the finals has crazy potential to be an esport, and one of the main reasons is because it's extremely fun to watch. There is barely any downtime during the match, unlike every battle royale out there. Things are happening constantly, and every moment of the match feels impactful. Also, we can't disagree that high level finals looks hella flashy, especially if you got really good movement. The game is also extremely clippable. I'ma keep repeating that TwitchCon Gu playing clip, because it's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, we get it, the game has insane potential. But is it even esports ready in its current state? That's a question I've seen asked and discussed ever since launch back in December, and the game has really come a long way since then. Major changes have been made to many core systems and the cash out game mode itself. This season alone improved cash out massively, making it a lot more fair and balanced, and less rewarding for third parties unlike before. I'm feeling that we are really close to perfection with this one, but something that still has a lot to be desired is the ranked system, and that's a really important and crucial thing to every competitive game. Embark still haven't cleared up how exactly the new system works, but in my opinion, it's extremely unpredictable and unforgiving at times. You usually only get points for placing in the top 3, and if your team is doo-doo and you get eliminated round 1, you lose like half a rank. speaking of duo teams, solo queue is still absolute torture. If I'm not mistaken, I remember how Embark said they wanna make it reward individual performance, but that still hasn't happened whatsoever. It's so often that I have to absolutely carry teammates that should clearly be playing in an easier lobby for their skill level. We barely push through the first round and then get 4th place in the second one, and I lose like 400 FS while having 20 kills and all the support score in the team. Don't get me wrong, the system has improved since seasons 1 and 2, but it still has a lot to be desired. Balancing is also a very important criteria when discussing the esports readiness of the game. And right now that's a little iffy, but it's definitely been worse before. Just a couple of buffs and I think we're gonna be in a great spot. Also more variety in the metas more often would come a very long way as well. So yeah, if the finals is so close to being ready for esports, then when can we expect that? This is the big question. There was actually some hype for this game's competitive scene during seasons 1 and 2, and I remember joining some Discord Screams servers at the time, but unfortunately Embark kinda killed all of this with season 3. Either that or I got kicked from those servers for inactivity, because apparently having a full-time job will leave you with little time or incompatible schedule to care about Screams. But anyway, all season 3 mistakes got reverted this season, so things are kinda getting back to normal. I've been taking the time recently to save every post I see about the finals tournaments on social media and to follow these sorts of discussions on Reddit and the Discord. And it's not like we don't have small third-party tournaments being organized right now. But something I was really happy to see is that the devs themselves are endorsing them. Dusty literally made a server announcement about one from Breakout, which is still going on right now at the time of writing this. Anyway, if the devs are supporting and endorsing tournament organizers, how long will it take till they start hosting first party tournaments themselves? They've already shown that they can host events, with what they did at TwitchCon, with the Season 4 review, and also the quote-unquote offline party that recently took place in Tokyo, Japan. I mean, of course all things esports start in Asia. I'm honestly surprised this slipped under the radar of so many people. Like all the photos I've seen from it on social media look fire, and it low-key makes me hella jealous that I wasn't there. I mean, this wasn't like a super huge event, like the CS Major for example, but it's something Embark hosted in person, and it shows that they are willing to put in resources into stuff like that. But yeah, trust me boys, it's coming. Perhaps 2025, maybe after the launch of Arc Raiders, because that's a huge focus for Embark right now, but it's for sure going to happen in the near future. It's just too big of an opportunity for them to pass in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, we went over the probability for them to do in-person events. Now let's talk about an idea I've had that would allow them to strengthen the interest in the competitive scene even more. In my opinion, they missed a huge opportunity with the release of World Tour, and how they marketed it back in Season 3. Do you know what these so-called weekly circuits remind me of? Back in the day, Fortnite had weekly cash cups with small money prizes. The way I would envision this working in the finals is that you gain ranked points during the circuit, and the players with the most points by the end can sign up with their team to play in the cash cup itself. Of course there will be a leaderboard for the points, and maybe it's only the top 500 teams that can qualify. That way people will have a lot of incentive to play during the 2 weeks of the circuit, and then perhaps at the end of the month all qualified teams can play in the tournament. And that tournament will be like a 2-hour long queue period, and the team with the most points at the end can win some small cash prize like $500 or even multi-bucks. Of course they'll need to implement systems for that within the game itself, but I feel like this could be a great way to have a competitive scene constantly progressing all the time, and a ton of hype surrounding it. And most importantly, a reason for streamers and talented high-level players to grind the game. Sounds like a win-win for everyone, doesn't it? Now, let's get into why I think this will never happen, or at least not anytime soon. As you've guessed, this will cost a shit ton of money, And compared to the finals, Fortnite back in the day at least was on a whole other order of magnitude when it comes to that kind of stuff. The finals will really need to grow a lot and become super mainstream for them to be able to even start thinking about these sorts of stuff. And it's gonna be super hard for that to happen, especially with the pandemic being over and other factors. People just aren't that interested in shooter games nowadays, and I doubt there is ever gonna be another boom like what happened with Fortnite back in 2018. Another thing is that Embark themselves said they intend World Tour to be a casual experience. Like, ranked is where the competitive nerds are, so it wouldn't make sense for them to tie World Tour to all of this. I don't know, I think what I explained is a decent idea, but I just don't see it being probable. That being said, you know they say never, and I'm hoping that if anyone from Embark is watching this video, they've taken some notes. There is a really big future for competitive the finals, and I'm all in for it. As always, please share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching till here. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and really got to spend some time with the family and stuff. In general, I hope you had a better last few weeks than me, because I've been dealing with a lot IRL, and hence I apologize for the delays on this video. While we're still here, I also want to mention that this is the last voiceover you'll hear me record in this apartment, as I'm finally moving into my own place. And I'm hoping I can release at least one more vid till the end of the year. There are really just a few final pushes I have to make this month, and things will get better in 2025. Anyway, I want to thank you all for your support and kind comments. If you're hearing this, it means you're really watching my videos till the end, and that means a lot to me. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time in the final season 5. Peace.